Roger Keith Barrett was born on the 6th of January 1946 in Cambridge to a middle-class family living at 60 Glisson Road. He was the fourth of 5 children. His father, Arthur Max Barrett, was a prominent pathologist and was said to be related to Elizabeth Garrett Anderson through Max's maternal grandmother, Ellen Garrett. In 1951, his family moved to 183 Hills Road. Barrett played piano occasionally but usually preferred writing and drawing. He bought a ukulele aged 10, a banjo at 11, and a Höfner acoustic guitar at 14. A year after he purchased his first acoustic guitar, he bought his first electric guitar and built his own amplifier. He was a scout with the 7th Cambridge Troop and went on to be a patrol leader. Barrett reportedly used the nickname Syd from the age of 14, derived from the name of an old Cambridge jazz bassist, Sid the Beat Barrett. Barrett changed the spelling to differentiate himself. By another account, when Barrett was 13, his schoolmates nicknamed him Syd after he came to a field day at Abington Scout site wearing a flat cap instead of his scout beret. Because Syd was a working-class name, he used both names interchangeably for several years. At one point at Morley Memorial Junior School, Barrett was taught by the mother of future Pink Floyd bassist Roger Waters. Later in 1957, he attended Cambridgeshire High School for Boys with Waters. His father died of cancer on the 11th of December 1961, less than a month before Barrett's 16th birthday. On this date, Barrett left the entry in his diary blank. By this time, his siblings had left home and his mother rented out rooms to lodgers. Eager to help her son recover from his grief, Barrett's mother encouraged the band in which he played, Jeff Mott and the Mottos, a band which Barrett formed to perform in their front room. Waters and Barrett were childhood friends, and Waters often visited such gigs. At one point, Waters organized a gig, a CND benefit at Friends Meeting House on the 11th of March 1962, but shortly afterwards Jeff Mott joined the Boston Crabs and the Mottos broke up. In September 1962, Barrett had taken a place at the art department of the Cambridgeshire College of Arts and Technology, where he met David Gilmour. In late 1962 and early 1963, the Beatles made an impact on Barrett, and he began to play Beatles songs at parties and at picnics. In 1963, Barrett became a Rolling Stones fan, and with then-girlfriend Libby Gosden, saw them perform at a village hall in Cambridgeshire. He would cite Jimmy Reed as an influence, however he remarked that Bo Diddley was his greatest influence. At this point, Barrett started writing songs. One friend recalls hearing Effervescing Elephant. Also around this time, Barrett and Gilmour occasionally played acoustic gigs together. Barrett would refer to Gilmour as Fred in letters to girlfriends and relatives. Barrett had played bass guitar with those without in mid-1963, and bass and guitar with the Hollerin' Blues the next summer. In 1964, Barrett and Gosden saw Bob Dylan perform. After this performance, Barrett was inspired to write Bob Dylan blues. Barrett, now thinking about his future, decided to apply for Camberwell College of Arts in London. He enrolled in the college in the summer of 1964 to study painting. Starting in 1964, the band that would become Pink Floyd evolved through various lineup and name changes, including the Abdabs, the Screaming Abdabs, Sigma 6, and the Meggadeaths. In 1965, Barrett joined them as the T-Set. When they found themselves playing a concert with another band of the same name, Barrett came up with the Pink Floyd Sound. During 1965, they went into a studio for the first time, when a friend of Richard Wright's gave the band free time to record. During this summer, Barrett had his first LSD trip in the garden of friend Dave Gale, with Ian Moore and Storm Thorgerson. During one trip, Barrett and another friend, Paul Charrier, ended up naked in the bath. That summer, as a result of the continued drug use, the band became absorbed in Sant Mat, a Sikh sect. Storm, Thorgerson, and Barrett went to a London hotel to meet the sect's guru. Thorgerson managed to join the sect. Barrett, however, was deemed too young to join. Thorgerson saw this as a deeply important event in Barrett's life, as he was extremely upset by the rejection. While living near his friends, Barrett decided to write more songs. Health problems. Through late 1967 and early 1968, Barrett became increasingly erratic, partly as a consequence of his heavy use of psychedelic drugs, such as LSD. Once described as joyful, friendly, and extroverted, he became increasingly depressed and withdrawn, and experienced hallucinations, disorganized speech, memory lapses, intense mood swings, and periods of catatonia. Although the changes began gradually, he went missing for a long weekend, and according to several friends including Wright, came back a completely different person. One of the striking features of his change was the development of a blank, dead-eyed stare. Barrett did not recognize friends and often did not know where he was, while Pink Floyd were recording See Emily Play at the Sound Technique studio. Gilmour stopped by on his return visit from Europe to say hello to Barrett. According to Gilmour, he just looked straight through me, barely acknowledged me that I was there. His sparkling eyes had always been his most attractive feature, but that night they were vacant, as if someone had reached inside his head and turned off a switch. During their set he hardly sang, standing motionless for long passages, arms by his sides, staring into space. On a tour of Los Angeles, Barrett is said to have exclaimed, "Gee, it sure is nice to be in Las Vegas." Many reports described him on stage, strumming one chord through the entire concert or not playing at all. At a show in Santa Monica, Barrett slowly detuned his guitar. Interviewed on the Pat Boone in Hollywood television program during the tour, Barrett replied with a blank and totally mute stare. According to Mason, Syd wasn't into moving his lips that day. Barrett exhibited similar behavior during the band's first appearance on Dick Clark's television show American Bandstand. Surviving footage of this appearance shows Barrett miming his parts competently. However, during a group interview afterwards, Barrett gave terse answers. During their appearance on the Perry Como show, Rick Wright had to mime all the vocals on Matilda Mother because of Barrett's condition. During this time, Barrett would often forget to bring his guitar to sessions, damage equipment, and was occasionally unable to hold his plectrum. Before a performance in late 1967, Barrett reportedly crushed Mandrik's tranquilizer tablets and a tube of Brill-Cream into his hair, which melted down his face under the heat of the stage lighting, making him look like a guttered candle. Mason disputed the Mandrik's portion of this story, saying that Syd would never waste good Mandy's death. In short, Barrett died at home in Cambridge on the 7th of July 2006, aged 60 from pancreatic cancer. His death was reported a week later on the 12th of July. He was cremated at a funeral held at Cambridge Crematorium on the 18th of July 2006. No Pink Floyd members attended. In a statement, Wright said the band are very naturally upset and sad to hear of Syd Barrett's death. Syd was the guiding light of the early band lineup, and leaves a legacy which continues to inspire. Gilmour said, "Do find time to play some of Syd's songs, and to remember him as the madcap genius who made us all smile, with his wonderfully eccentric songs about bikes, gnomes, and scarecrows. His career was painfully short, yet he touched more people than he could ever know."